Hey everyone. All right, Marianne Gillespie, CEO over at Apple Coaching and Creative Game Changer here. So the mistake that I see often right now is people putting in the wrong amount of time in door knocking. And when you're door knocking, here's the thing. You can average, it takes about 300 doors before you get one result. So if you're door knocking on 300 doors and you're getting one result, then you got to kind of look, the average agent can hit 7 to 10 doors per hour. So let's go up to 10 if you're lucky. And that's before you get one piece of business. So if you have to get 300 answers, it's going to take you 30 hours. So the mistake that I see all the time is that people are thinking that they can do 7 to 10 hours per week and even inconsistent, and they don't get the results. And I'm always saying is like, and then they give up and they get frustrated. And I'm like, well, you're just not using the right ratios. You really have to be doing about 300 doors. And so that's 30 hours a week. And I know teams that go out in teams of 10 and they do 30 hours each over a 7-day period, and they have huge results. They can make $1 million a year on it because they're getting anywhere from 10 to 11 pieces of business every single week because they're committed to it at a high level. But if you're thinking like the weather's too much or you're a fair weather door knocker and all of the above, you really have to watch that. I would highly suggest that door knocking might not be for you. If you're not prepared to give the hours it needs and be consistent with it, then it can be a very frustrating return, which is why you don't see a lot or even hear a lot of people of nailing door knocking. They'd rather go for the easier stuff, which I don't disagree with, but you have to be really dedicated to door knocking, have a very good strategy, work with your coach on a really good strategy, but you're going to need to be realistic about it and say how many doors can answer. And if you want to test it out, do it for a week. Be like, how many doors answer and how close am I getting to the 300? And just remember, the biggest mistake that I'm seeing is that door knocking, they're just not putting the right amount of hours behind the activity. So the results aren't coming and they're getting frustrated with it, but you can't change that. It just with the less amount of people moving nowadays, it is about 1 in 300 answers to the doors. Okay, so take a really good look. And like I said, I'm not door knocking, but anyway, I'm not knocking it. But I will say that, you have to be willing to put about 30 hours of solid door knocking before you're going to see some good results. And that's 30 hours, another 30 hours. So ask yourself, is that the method you want to do? Now, there are different advantages to it too. You could be collecting names, numbers, and email addresses. So then is it worth it? Yeah, if I'm hitting 300 doors a week and I'm collecting 100 names, numbers, and email addresses, then it's a double-edged sword. So that's building my database, which is super powerful. But rarely do I see people, able to combine the both two. So if you're going to do door knocking and you're committed to it, then I would suggest doing about 30 hours a week, trying to hit up about 300 answers, and then becoming an absolute ninja at getting 100 names, numbers, and email addresses every week. And pretty soon you'll have a huge neighborhood, huge database, and at the end of the day, you'll have some great results. If you're not prepared to go there, then just be honest about where you think the results are going to go, and you can add it as a supplement. Just don't, just be careful that you don't expect that you're going to go door knocking for 7 hours and you're going to get something. Okay? Good luck.